Hello, boys and girls.
Harking back to an age when the coast was all about sun, sea and showbiz. The boards in Bournemouth have been well and truly trodden over the years, but in one case, the stage door is a revolving one. In the 1920s through to the 1950s, in the golden age of music hall and variety, here on the South Coast, theatres and hotels were inextricably linked. Performers, artists and actors stayed in hotels like the Chine in their thousands, and many left their mark. In the basement of the Chine, theatre does indeed come to life. Peter Goodwright was in Variety himself, and has more than just a passing memory for these acts.
As well, Arthur Askey up here.
Oh, what a nice man. I was watching the cricket the other day, and a fella in the white coat gave one fella out. He went straight up this fella in the white coat, and he said, "You want your eyes tested?" And the fella said, "So do you, I'm selling ice cream."
Now, this Rob Wilton.
He's the greatest comedy timer. My missus said to me, she said, "What do you do at the Home Guard?" I said, "It's my job to stop Hitler invading this country." She said, "What, you?" I said, No. I said, "It's not just me." I said, "There's 4 or 5 of us. There's Harry Bates, Charlie Ebb."
The hotels and the theatres really went hand in hand, didn't they, for those decades?
They did, because when an artist was travelling, which he could work for 5 years without going back to the same location twice, with the same act, because there was no television in the early days and just radio and so on. So somewhere to stay that was like home made it more amenable to the artists when they were touring, because it was a very hard graft touring all over the country, because one week you might be in Bournemouth, the next week you might be in Newcastle or Glasgow or anywhere in the country wherever an agent could get you work.
No, but there's Ted Ray, look, Ted Ray. What a nice man, and a first-class talker. I had a letter from very quick, a bit like Max Miller, quickly talking. I had a letter from the income tax people, nice people. They don't send a final demand anymore, just a picture postcard of Strangeways Jail.
These household names stayed here because the local theatres were owned by one man, Fred Butterworth. He presided over a massive empire, including the Boscombe Hippodrome, and all his acts stayed here. Today his son John is in charge and got used to the attention from an early age.
Oh yes, a famous photo of me. My father brought Laurel and Hardy over to tour his theatres in 1947. And I have a picture of me as a little baby on the steps of the then Chine by Mr. Laurel and Hardy holding me, so that's my one moment of fame, I suppose. We had Diana Dawn staying here when she was in production in Bournemouth, and I had to go and change the hairdryer plug for her, and I remember standing there, bless her, and she was in her dressing gown, and I'm in her room with a sort of an 18-year-old with a screwdriver trying to get this plug changed or whatever it was. That's right, shaking like a leaf.
The hotel is the Old Lady of Boscombe, built early 18th century. The first pictures show her standing on the cliff top, well before the Victorians planted their popular pine trees.
There probably would have been a jungle drums that if you could get the Boscombe Hippodrome, you're going to be staying at the Chine Hotel, because it was the place to be if you could get the job at the Boscombe Hippodrome. So it was everybody's ambition to appear at that theatre so they could be sure of having 3 meals a day, whereas if you were in humble digs somewhere else, you might get a meal at night time when you came back after the theatre had closed, and you could maybe have sausage and beans, and that was it. Whereas if you stayed here in a first-class hotel, you were better looked after.
Here's Arthur Lucan. Old Mother Riley! Old Mother Riley! What a wonderful voice.
What do you think when you look at the walls and all these faces and all these stars? What do you feel?
Well, God gave all these people an immense talent to entertain and to amuse, which they did to the nth degree.
But as ticket sales dried up with time and the final curtain has come down, the Chine has had to adapt and change, much like any variety act.
I can remember, when you wouldn't be allowed in the restaurant without a jacket and tie on. Now, if you've got clothes on, you come in. This is what we've now got.